classmates. Today we will learn the final section of this chapter, external wealth. We will focus on the following issues. First, the level of external wealth. Second, changes in external wealth. Third, understanding the data on external wealth. We will discuss these issues one by one. First, the level of external wealth. External wealth equals the value of total external assets A minus the value of total external liabilities L. Total external assets is what the rest of the world owes to the home country, and the total external liabilities is what the home country owes to the ROW. So W equal A minus L. A country's level of external wealth is also called its net international investment position or net foreign assets. It's a stock measure, not a flow measure. If W is larger than 0, the home country is a net creditor country. External assets exceed external liabilities, and what the rest of the world owes the home countries is greater than what the home country owes to the rest of the world. If W is smaller than 0, the home country is a net debtor country. External liabilities exceed external assets, and what the home country owes to the rest of the world is greater than what the rest of the world owes to the home country. External wealth is only one part of a nation's total wealth. The other part of a nation's wealth is internal wealth, which corresponds to the total value of non-financial assets in the home country. Because we are focused on international economical relationships, our main emphasis is on external wealth because it measures the outstanding obligation of one country to another. Those obligations and when and how they are paid can be the source of great economical and political stress. Moreover, the net debts of nations, like those of individuals, ultimately carry a cost. Second, changes in the external wealth. There are two reasons a country's level of external wealth changes over time. One, financial flows. As a result of asset trades, the country can increase or decrease its external assets and liabilities. Net exports of foreign assets cause an equal decrease in the level of external assets, and hence a corresponding decrease in external wealth. Net exports of home assets cause an equal increase in the level of external liabilities, and hence a corresponding decreasing in external wealth. For example, if net exports of assets, whether home or foreign, are $1 billion, then the change in external wealth is minus $1 billion. The net export of assets of all kinds is measured by the financial account, FA, and this has a negative effect on external wealth in any period. 2. Valuation effects. The value of existing external assets and liabilities may change over time because of capital gains or losses. In the case of external wealth, this change in value could be due to price effects or exchange rates effects. For example, suppose a U.S. citizen buys 100 shares of BP on the London Stock Exchange at 7 pounds each. Suppose the exchange rate is $1.5 per pound. These US external assets are worth 10.5 each dollars, 1.5 times 7, for a total of $1,050. Suppose the price of these shares then falls to 6 pounds, and the exchange rate stays the same. Each share is now worth $9, 1.5 times 6, and 100 shares are valued at $900. Their value has fallen in dollar terms by $150. 1 pound times 1.5 times 100, which is a capital loss. This is an example of a price effect. Now suppose the exchange rate rises to 1.6 per pound dollars. Each share is still worth 6 pounds in UK currency, but $9.6 in US currency, 1.6 times 6. So the total value of the shares rises to $960, which relatively to the $900 they were previously worth, implies a capital gain of $60. This is an example of an exchange rate effect. Similar effects can change the value of external liabilities. Adding up these two contributions to the change in external wealth, DW, we find DW equal minus FA plus capital gains on external wealth. We gain a deeper understanding of this expression if we recall the BOP identity, the current account plus the capital account plus the financial account equals 0. Hence, minus the financial account equals the current account plus the capital account, or minus FA equals CA plus KA. Substituting this identity into equation 3, we obtain change in external wealth equal current account CA plus capital account KA plus capital gains on external wealth. This fundamental formula tells us that a country can increase its external wealth in one of only 3 ways. A. Through its own thrift. A CA surplus or expenditure is less than income. B. By the charity of others. A KA surplus by receiving net gifts of wealth. C. With the help of windfalls, having positive capital gains. Similarly, a country can reduce its external wealth by doing any of the opposites. Third, understanding the data on external wealth. Measures of levels and changes in national external wealth are tabulated in an account known as the Net International Investment Position. Let's take the USA's simplified version of this account as an example. The detailed data for the year 2015 show a clear distinction between the contribution of financial flows, net trade-in assets, to changes in external wealth in column A, and the impact of various kinds of valuation effects, column B, C, and D. Table 1, line 3, column A shows that in 2050, the United States on net imported $160 $70 billion in assets. The minus sign denotes a net import, asset exports of $395 billion on line 2, minus asset imports of $225 billion on line 1. On their own, these financial flows would have changed U.S. external wealth by minus $170 billion in just 1 year. Yet, the total change in external wealth shows on line 3 was minus $206 billion in that year due to combined valuation effects, and other changes of minus $36 billion in columns B, C, and D, which lowered U.S. external wealth even more over the same period. The valuation effects were driven by $751 billion in price change effects, offset by $1,052 billion in exchange rate effects. Other changes are recorded as minus $234 billion. Thus, while the United States borrowed, on net, an additional $107,000 billion from the rest of the world in 2015, its external wealth actually fell by $206 billion. External wealth data tell us the net credit or debit position of a country with respect to the rest of the world. They include data on external assets, foreign assets owned by the home country, and external liabilities, home assets owned by foreigners. A creditor country has positive external wealth, a debt country negative external wealth. What drives external wealth? The current account told us about the imbalance in a country's external flows of goods, services, factor services, and income. The balance of payments accounts told us how these imbalances require offsetting financial flows of assets between countries. Countries with a current account surplus deficit must be net wealth sellers of assets. This buying and selling of assets has implications for external wealth. An increase in a country's external wealth results from every net import of assets. Conversely, a decrease in the external wealth results from every net export of assets. In addition, countries can expenditure capital gains or losses on their external assets and liabilities that cause changes in external wealth. All of these changes are summarized in the statement of a country's net international investment position. That's all for Chapter 5. Thank you.